Tonight, I'm going to share my point of view in regards to the topic your place in life, based on my knowledge on Spiritism. I'm a student of this philosophy still, and what I'll be saying here is my own opinion, which might be different from the Spiritist group or even the members of this Spiritist society. So, what's your position in your own universe? See, this is not too far away, it's your own universe. Is the place you take really yours? Are you able to recognize yourself? Or do external influences lead you to think of acting in a different way? So, my presentation tonight will be based in this book, Changing Attitudes, written by a Brazilian writer and medium, Francisco de Espírito Santo Neto, and dictated by a very well-known spirit named Hamad. So, have you listened to your soul's voice or intuition, or open up your ears to the opinions and concepts of others? Sometimes it's very hard for us to see some points. Historical questions like this one help us to think. Then, which of these do you think it's easier for us to be doing? Have you ever felt lost in a place? For example, at school, work, social circles, or even among family members. What have you already done to feel popular among your friends, or to impress someone else in a very positive way, in your mind, in your own opinion, or even to avoid being criticized by your close ones, right? This is in places that you didn't want to be there, right? Making things against your will, doing things out of obligation, but due to your feelings, like, I have to do this, I need to do, because of those feelings, to be accepted by that group, to feel like a member of that group or that circle of friends, or at school or at work, right? That's, for a while, it's natural, because we are looking and trying to be inserted in that place, to find our place in that group. So, Spiritism, the spiritualist philosophy, says that we are individuals with the main objective of progressing spiritually towards perfection, and at the same time being co-creators. Let's explore a little bit this statement, and then we go back to the main topic of the presentation. So it's saying about individuality. We are spirits created at some point, and we were created simple and ignorant, with the main objective of progressing towards perfection. And progressing towards perfection doesn't mean that we will reach perfection one day, but that's our direction. So, how do we progress? And how this happens? This philosophy just shows us that this happens through reincarnation. We have a spiritual life, which is our real life, but we come to this material life. We are here, inhabiting these bodies, which is a material one, organic bodies, and We are here to learn, to experience what you have been studying about life. So every time when you come, we have different situations. And we should go through these hardships to evolve each time more and more. So every time we go back to the spiritual life, we are better spirits, progressing. Sorry. And when this return happens, because this material body, this organic life, will one day cease, and then the spirit which was inhabiting that body will be released again, and then it goes back to the spiritual life. So the concept of reincarnation, which is not created by this philosophy, makes sense and helps me to open my mind to see a big picture of everything. I'm not going too deep in some concepts, but this is important for us in this presentation to understand better the topic. So, being co-creators, it means that we'll be working in ourselves, being a better child, a better parent, a better colleague at work or friend, and with that we get better for everything and do better for others as well. And that's how we start being co-creators, collaborating with the creation, doing things that is good to leave as a legacy. So it's very important for us at this point to keep in mind this individuality and that we are progressing to be maybe perfect one day through reincarnations, through many lives. It's a continuing process, it's a continuous process. Going back to our topic, we should listen to more the choices and preferences of our own soul. Listen to our intuition, follow our heart. That feeling of inadequacy is a product of your disbelief in your own potential. So, why we are all the time thinking of what the others are thinking or discussing about ourselves, what they are saying about ourselves? We should think and listen to our own soul and follow what we really want to us, right? Not about the others. We are individuals, independent of each other, and we have a particular goal, which relies on ourselves only to be achieved. So that progression, that journey of evolution is our responsibility, is our own path to go through. And only us knows how to go through and to overcome all the problems that come through during our lives. No one knows what's going on in our minds, as the same as we don't know what's going on in someone else's mind. So let's believe in ourselves. If you keep blaming others for your feeling of inadequacy and conflicts, not accepting that you are responsible for submitting to others' will all the time, will make you always feel lonely, even in the middle of a crowd. However, when you accept that your actions are a product of the consensus you make from the many advices and opinions you received, you will start to see a way to find your position in your own universe, When you stop and say to yourself, look inside and try to recognize yourself, try to identify why you're going through all these difficult moments, what's going on with your life, and what you have been doing. And if you identify that you are not following your heart, your soul voice, let's say, and you are just following what your parents are telling you to do, or what your classmate is saying you, oh, you should be doing this because I think that is good for you. Thank you for the advice, but you should look inside yourself. What do you want for yourself? Because at the end, all this feeling need to be treated by yourself. So you need to face that one day when you cannot support that anymore. And then you need to deal with how to do that. So that's when you realize that you need to identify who you are and work for yourself and in yourself. When you decide to take ownership of our own decisions and take our own life options, we are able to see abroad and perceive life from a different perspective. Working on ourselves, listen to our soul's voice, intuition, following our heart, that's what should lead us towards perfection in our journey of progression. It comes from inside out. As was saying, it's a transformation that happens with ourselves. It doesn't mean that we need to be selfishness. We need to act as with selfishness. But that means that that path is individual. We have something beyond that we don't have access. But trying to see the logic of everything, you're maybe the reason it tells you that must have something beyond after this life, after this existence. So otherwise it doesn't make sense, right? Someone had a very hard life, suffering a lot. He was born just for that, just to go through that. Should have a reason for that. And this existence is the consequence. So with that concept of progression and developing in mind, what should we be doing? So one should see things as they really are. That would lead you to develop total conscience of your place inside yourself. Then you realize that your existence is your own responsibility. So, what should we be doing? Look inside, discover ourselves, look around, pay attention to the universe, not the universe, but to the earth, the planet we live in. Everything that exists, the animals, the different plants, the ocean, it's amazing. It's beauty just because it exists. And we are part of this. Every animal, every plant, every being is unique. And we as human beings, and even further, we as a spirit, we are unique in the universe, the whole universe. So we should be discovering ourselves, our difficulties, our improvement points, and work on them. How can I be a better person? Or I have a problem with my parents, maybe, let's suppose, and how can I fix that? Talk. Listen the same way as yourself. Your kids, your friends, everyone is the same way. Of course, we are understanding that as long as we're getting maturity, but we should work on that one day. Why not starting now? We are rational beings, and for this reason, we have to think, find answers, listen to things from their real source. So, seek for our place inside ourselves, figure out who we really are, and accept our vices and imperfections, so that we start having a good perception of life, what that means to us, and what we should be doing then. However, with all of these in mind, we can live our lives, respecting others since they are doing the same as us, and the most important, trying to be humble. So, humbleness. This is a key for us to understand that we are not who we think we are, and to accept that we have imperfections, to accept that, I need to improve this, I'm so selfish, and I need to get it better. For myself, it's not for anyone else, it's for myself, for my spirit to be better. So, how is your relationship with your family, or even with your colleagues at work? What do you think about them? Why are you thinking like that? Are you humble in your thoughts, in your actions? Do you respect them? If someone does something that you think is not okay, you don't know what's going on in their minds, right? So for you, could not be a good action, but you should not judge that, because you don't know what's the background, the spiritual background, and the moral knowledge of that person. So we should be humble and look to ourselves. Myself in their shoes, maybe would I do the same or not? We don't know. So that's why we should do a trip inside to figure out who we are exactly, really, who we really are, and accept our imperfections, work on our points that need to be improved. Look for yourself inside yourself. This is the best way to find the place that belongs to you before eternal life. So, as consciousness, when we leave this body, this life, and go back to the spiritual life, just as consciousness, with access to everything, to all our previous lives, because we as essence, we are a product of many existences. Imagine all the all the content and all the experience we have had and read as a spirit throughout our all past lives. That's what it makes us be what as we are at the moment. And we have a long way still to go through, many lives, because we need to be better. Right? Is there someone that you admire? You would like to be like that person because that person is so kind, so humble, is so respectful, and that's inspiring you to change yourself. So we have a long path still. So this philosophy, Spiritism, proposes a change of perspective. It's for us to use other lens to analyze the situation, to help us to perceive life in a different way, to accept our imperfection, to accept differences, to accept the others, and then to look inside and understand that we should judge and work in ourselves to be better persons for this world and even for the universe. So we should improve ourselves to something bigger that we still don't have access to, but we can imagine and expand our conscience to try to understand, because at least for me that really makes sense. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next week. Thank you.